afternoon. Today is Monday. It is September 19th, and my name is Bill McCamley. I'm a state representative from Las Cruces and Mesilla with your legislative update for the day. Really want to talk about an article that came out last week saying that Moody's, which is a bond ratings company in New York, is very seriously considering downgrading the bond rating for not only the state of New Mexico, but for 4 New Mexico universities, so UNM, NMSU, New Mexico Tech, and the New Mexico Military Institute. Now, what does this mean? So let's say you're going to go out and get a loan for your house. The mortgage company will look at your credit rating, right? And what does that credit rating do? It says, what is the risk that you will not pay this loan back? And the higher your credit rating, the lower the risk that you're not going to pay the loan back, because you've shown in the past that you can meet budgets and you can pay the loan back. So that means you get what? A lower interest rate on your loan. Well, the credit rating that the state is given by Moody's is basically a credit rating. And the top credit rating you can get is AAA. And what that means is that Moody's, which is this rating agency, has looked at the state's budget. They've looked at the ability to pay off debts over a long period of history, and they said a AAA means you're really, really good. So when you get a loan to pay for whatever you're going to pay for, you get a low interest rate. If you get a lower bond rating, so let's say it goes to AA or single A, or heaven forbid into the B's or C's, the interest rate on the loans that you're going to get is going to go up. Now, how does that affect New Mexico? So especially, let's take the universities, for example, right? When you vote every year on bond issues, like you'll see on the upcoming election, what you're doing is saying, we are going to take out a loan based on current either property taxes or oil and gas revenues to pay for things. So at NMSU, for instance, last year, we paid for almost a $20 million renovation of Jet Hall, which is the chemical engineering building. And we were able to take out a loan, which is what these bonds are, pay for the upgrades, and then we pay that back over a period of time. And because we have such a high credit rating, the interest rate is very low. So we're basically getting the most bang for our buck as possible. However, the longer we wait trying to figure out our budget situation and the problems that we're having in paying off what we're supposed to pay in our budget, the worse off it's going to get. And Moody's, if they do downgrade us, it's going to cost us more in the future over a very long period of time, because that's one of the problems, right? If they downgrade us, it's going to take a while to get that back, to where we as taxpayers, when we pay off our property taxes or the oil and gas taxes we have, it's not going to buy as much as it did before, because we haven't gotten our act together. And this is one of the reasons we really need to have this special session that's been talked about for the budget sooner rather than later, and figure out responsible ways of making sure we pay our budgets. Really hope the governor does this. It's really unheard to call this meeting, and the longer we wait, the worse it gets for this thing. I want to say some good news. So last Friday, some friends of mine were riding up Dripping Springs here in Las Cruces and saw a ton of Land Rovers. So they asked these guys what they were doing there. They were all in these uniforms, and they were the Virgin Galactic astronauts. These are the people that have paid a couple $100,000 to go up into space using the new Spaceport and the new technology that Virgin is developing out in California. They're going to launch here in New Mexico. And this would have happened a couple years ago. Unfortunately, there was a tragic accident, but they're back on track. They seem to have a good testing schedule going, and the fact that these folks are out here taking a tour of the local area, going up to the spaceport, really gives me a lot of confidence that they're going to start moving people out here. I think they have about 20 people now. I think the long-term strategy is to have about 60 people, and that's great for the economy, right? Because these people are making salaries from outside of the economy, and they're spending it in the economy. They're buying houses, they're going to the coffee shops. These rich folks are staying in hotels here, they're buying good food, and this does nothing but help the local economy. So it's really good to be seeing the spaceport starting to get on track. We'll be keeping updated on the progress of that. And as always, I appreciate you watching this. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns on these or any of the issues, I would love to hear from you. Thanks, and hope everyone has a great week. Bye.